to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another special message from the Ancient Ones. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms. We really want to thank every single person that supports us through Patreon. And, we share so much more information on what's going on Patreon, beloveds, because there's so much censorship going on now. So if you're relying on the public platforms to get your full story, you're never going to find it there. I mean, we have to speak in code, we have to do this, we have to do that. So, knowledge is power right now. Ignorance is not bliss, and the knowledge you have will literally determine whether you make a life decision or a death decision. So dig deeper, definitely look for those alternative voices, just so that you can get a bigger, a more wholesome picture of what is really going on. Thanks to everyone that sends us love donations through PayPal. We appreciate, love you. There is a special gift in the mail for you as well. Today's message is all about Africa's unity, and special message from the Ancient Ones, the main message from the Ancient Ones. And this has been a message that I've been feeling for a long time, is that our unity will not come through the physical. It won't come through an organization. It won't come through a physical movement, but it has to be instigated and created and nurtured and multiplied, in the spiritual. And that's why when you look of all the colonizations that they've tried to put our people under, the land colonization, the physical colonization, the mental colonization, the psychological colonization, the spiritual colonization, the economic colonization, all of these that we're dealing with, which have created a desperate situations for so many of our people. The one that came first and will probably be the last to go is the religious colonization. The missionaries came first, beloveds. And even after the armies left, the missionaries remained, and they've doubled and they've quadrupled. And they should be, that is a form of colonization, beloveds. Because even now, I still see Muzungu Jesus in the villages. And Muzungu pastors preaching that, and our own pastors preaching that. By now, you should at least have told your congregation that Jesus was black, if Jesus was not a fabricated story. At least say that he was black. At least. But even that truth is not being told. And you see, some people take it as such a trivial thing, because a lot of they've done all these scientific things. I think 2 years ago, it was proven that, because this is the story. I'm sticking on this because this is the story that many people locked into the religious colonization. And once they have you here believing in fairy tales, because they took our science and they gave us a fairy tale, then once they have you here, nothing else happens, because, beloveds, the world is spiritual first. The world is mental first. It is spirit and the intentions of spirit that manifests and creates this world. And our intentions are, we've been dumbed down so much that we give our intentions and our consent so freely without even knowing what we're manifesting, because we don't understand the science of this world, because we're stuck in the religious thinking. And if you don't get this right, it doesn't matter what physical organization you create, it won't work. So a lot of you who have asked me, are there any organizations in Africa that are working for the liberation of our people, blah, blah, blah. Don't look for organizations. Don't look for it physically. It has to be a spiritual thing. And you see, they've mashed up because revival, reformation is what so many have, prophesied and seen happening in Africa. Like there would be like a wave of fire that would just burn all the past away and kind of revive us. Or is it a wave of water? Anyway, all the nations are involved. But it's a change of mindset that will liberate and unite Africa in a twinkle of an eye. And that's why they've done so much to make sure that our people don't have the necessary, knowledge to make those massive decisions for themselves or even to wake up from their dream state. So the unity, Africa's unity is not going to be a physical thing. It's going to be a spiritual thing first that manifests physically. There are certain, dare I call them messiahs, liberators, but it's a spiritual energy. They will hold a spiritual vibe. Many are doing that already. There are those that will be chosen to come to the forefront. But it's about a spiritual movement, beloved. Anything that we try physically, we're already defeated because it can just be canceled out spiritually. So if you don't control up there, up there, if you don't control the spiritual, beloveds, you can never change the physical, ever. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa. Welcome back, beloveds, to a special message from the Ancient Ones. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. We need to stop looking for the unity of global Africa, the global melanated people, physically. The African Union and any other or physical organization is not what is going to unite Africa. Absolutely not. The unification must happen spiritually, which is why the one aspect of the colonial movement that has not been, properly addressed is religion. Like no one has, even our own people, no one has dared to try and liberate our people spiritually. They try and liberate them politically, economically, but not spiritually. Spiritually is where the people need their greatest assistance, where the people need the right in the truth, where the truth shall make them free. But no one has focused on that. We've questioned having foreign colonizers on our land. We've questioned the economic colonization. We've exposed how, our diamonds and our rubies are just taken out of here just like that. But when we get into the religious colonization and how religion is a weapon of, it's a military movement. I've done a show on that. Christianity and Islam are military movements of occupation. That's how you occupy a people. You totally crush and destroy their sense of self, their spirituality, their shrines, their gods, and then you replace them with your own, and you've got the people. But in our liberation and in people wanting to be united, they're not talking about how that's where that's where the fight is. That's where the real battle is. That's where the ultimate battle is. And that's why our people are just being led to the slaughter the way they are. Not because they're physically this or they're physically that. The physical couldn't hold them if they were on the right spiritually. And that's also a reason why, things aren't happening the way that many, the enemies of our souls thought they'd be happening. because so many of our ancestors have created like these magnetic fields around us to protect us. Those that need to get the information are getting the information. Like so much, it's like all hands on deck. Our spiritual team, our guardian angels, just the spirit of Africa, the spirit of the region that we live in, the spirit of the mountains and the oceans and the lakes where that we're close to and that we're connected to, are doing everything to protect and shield Mama Africa. But the unity and the liberation, because liberation has to come before unity, or do they happen simultaneously? Let me know what you think in the comments below. But the unity, beloveds, will not happen physically, because there's also a lot of youth that have been sending me emails that they've started this organization to unite Africa, and they've started this other organization and they have members and this and that. It's not going to work if you do not join the spiritual liberation of our people. That's where everyone needs to be focused on. Telling the people the truth and knowing the truth for yourself to begin with. Because a lot of the people that are trying to liberate Africa are still stuck in one lie or another. And you see, this represents, the lies and the truths within us represent the division within us. And if we are divided within us, we cannot be united as a people. Because you attract who you are. They gave us their fairy tale and they took our science. And they've been using our science, the most basic of our science, to rule and reign. Not only us, but the whole world. But the focus of anyone, if you want to see the liberation of Africa, if you feel called to create, wealth for our youth, or to go the politics way, or to go the health way, whatever, the first step has to be in liberating people spiritually and mentally. And that's the only movement I would get behind. It's the people who are really wanting to wake up Africa for real, for real. Whether you're a businessman, whether you're a preacher man, whether you're a politician, whatever you are, if you do not wake up the people, if you are a leader in any capacity and you are not putting your attention in telling people the truth and awakening them, then you've lost the battle, beloveds. Because so many of our politicians and stuff have maintained the sheeple the way they are so that they could manipulate them. So they withheld the knowledge, and the information of what Babylon was doing so that they could hop onto Babylon's, ship and control the people and have their little power in their little dominions. But now the one who created the program is coming in to take over the program. And if you have not told the people the truth, you won't make it. Unless you want to be an administrator of the New World Order, which is one of the most dangerous jobs out there. So every leader, every warrior, every liberator needs to be thinking, how do I liberate my people spiritually first? How do I wake up my people spiritually first? Because if our people, the mental creates the physical, beloveds. From the unknown comes the known. They've done so much to program, and I've done so many shows on this. Our subconscious, that the mind that the operating system that kind of operates without us really controlling it. There's so many thoughts that are just fueling our reality, not by our own choice. And so if we can come together and we talk about how we can liberate our people spiritually, how we can create organizations to give the people the truth, to give the people the information across Mama Africa, and make sure that our people really know the facts of what's been going on. If that's not the path that we're taking, then the unity won't happen, because the unity must happen first. And so we shouldn't be praying for, a new political organization, a new African Union. No, we should be praying for the liberation of our people spiritually. Pray for that revival. And when you start seeing the minds of our people changing, which is already happening, there's so much awakening that's happening, beloveds. But as they said, the revolution will not be televised, but everyone in their own community can see the changes in how people are talking. People may not have all the information, but they know, they have a vibe of what's going on with the New World Order. But when you start to really see that massive shift, then you'll see things changing. And I really do pray that some messiahs will come to the forefront. Because there's so many chosen ones, ancient ones, ancestors, people who are, you know, who have the power and capacity to be powerful mediums, to take on multiple characters, to be the David of this generation and the Moses of this generation. I'm using it in biblical terms because that's what our people get. To be all of these things in one, and Solomon of this generation to take on, and Jesus of this generation to take on all these spiritual stories that are just here. The spirit of this is still here, and to embody that and to move in perfect power and truth. Tuko pamoja.